if there's something I can do to
Added to the
assist you, man.
one, the actual physical location, you know, what's their website link? You want to look at almost.
Who's that? What's going
That's
on,
Harry
Brian?
Gilliam,
Gonna mute.
classic Harry, coming in here with all kinds of other background noises going on.
Is that Harry? I thought it was Brian. Okay. Oh, good.
All right, let's record this bad boy. Okay. We are live. We are live. Another weekly call. So this call is kind of a special call, I think, for a few different reasons. We'll go into those. I'm excited for it. Obviously, we're going to be building on what we talked about over the last couple of weeks, but it's also, if some of you guys remember, a year ago, we did 2 consecutive calls. The first one was kind of the hey world, we exist, LeadGenerated exists, and that was this week. So it's been 12 months since that call, right? Today, the 1 week, and then next week would be our launch call, or actually it was actually a few days later. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this last year with us on this platform. I know that we didn't start doing the weekly calls until about the first week of January. So you know, we're maybe 10 months into those calls, but I hope you guys have, over the last year, it's been amazing for us to see and hear the testimonials from you guys. Some of the wins that you guys have shared has really affected us. Our whole team talks about it. You know, I have like little highlight reels in my head of people closing different deals, the wins that you guys have shared, not only in the call, but in the various groups. They stick with us and they matter. And it's cool when you're building the platform and thinking about how this is going to be awesome. And, you know, we're kind of in the laboratory coming up with all these different ideas on how to structure this thing, put it together, what would make the most value for people. And then to see people run with it over the last 12 months has been, it's been really rewarding. This has probably been the hardest thing I've ever worked on in my life. You know, it's been just like, I don't know how many hours have disappeared. And it's like, I know that, you know, what's going on our end is a lot of times we're up until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then we're back up at 7 in the morning trying to fix issues and make sure things are set up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this last 12 months with this. And it's been, it's a huge win for us to kind of like, hey, we're at the 1 year mark. I'd never launched a SaaS company on my own. Like I built a product that someone else launched, but I'd never built one on my own. I'd never run a Facebook group before. And, you know, obviously we made mistakes. We learned along the way, and you know, we continue to learn, but I would just say it's been a really rewarding year for us as the kind of the developer behind this and my team. You guys have provided us with the opportunity to grow. You know, it's you put yourself out there and you put your back against the wall, you're going to be forced into growing into something. And it's just hard to look back on the last 12 months and think about how different things are. You know, I think when we started 12 months ago, when we launched, I think we had 7 software engineers working for us. And then before the end of the year, I think we had 17. So looking on things, I think the functionality has doubled in the last 12 months. Just kind of going from where we are to where we are now, right? Especially with the last release. There may not be twice as many modules, but a lot of the development has come within the same modules, right? And we're continuing to pour this on. So we are now kind of pushing this thing out into the real world. So we talked a little bit about the affiliate program. We're going to dive a little bit more into that today and go through that. I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of people. So I wanted to share that win. Obviously, we always like to start this out for win, but this is a huge win. I'm super proud of what we've done. We've like persevered through some, in my mind, drama that was completely unnecessary. And, you know, I'm kind of looking at that as in the rearview mirror. It's been a great learning experience on how to handle things. And you know, clearly there's things we would have done different had like, if I had it to do over again 12 months ago, but you know, the next 12 months, I think we're going to take our learning experiences and we're going to be better from it. another win before we dive into your guys' wins is Jeff, you want to share? I think you have a win. I think that whole conversation we just had for the last like hour and a half or whatever it was with Kevin. What did you think of that? Why don't you share that a little bit about what's going on there?
Yeah, I had a client that Patrick brought on, I guess, a couple of years ago and charged him an upfront fee on the old model where it was charging him a monthly. There no promises made about leads delivered, and then it kind of didn't really take off. And so he was just kind of sitting on idle. And then eventually it started producing a lot during COVID, and it just never got really followed up on, and he never started paying, and he didn't really even understand how many leads we were sending him. So I've been bantering back and forth, texting and whatever with him. I had a few phone calls with him the last couple of months, but because I wasn't involved in the original deal, he's like, oh, I already paid X number of dollars and I haven't gotten anything. And, you know, it's really hard to go back and try to like speak when, you know, you've taken, you know, 10 grand from somebody, and I don't know what was agreed upon or anything. So we got him on a call today to really audit what he's been getting. And it was really just kind of a big realization for him, you know, seeing the calls filtered through CallRail and the different things that Patrick was able to show him in LeadGenerated in the CRM to kind of like, you know, reveal to him like, hey, all these calls are coming from us, you know, and there's value that we're providing you. And so he kind of anchored himself back to around the $2,500 monthly, and he was kind of like, yeah, well, if I'm getting the value, like I'll pay that. And so it's like, all right, well, start paying.
That was again. That was way higher than what our target was. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, we'll take your 2,500.
Yeah, so he's in a really high volume niche, and he's the biggest player in town. They're probably the biggest, probably like one of the top three. He's a franchise owner of a national franchise that is probably one of the biggest franchise owners, like biggest
market,
biggest company in the United States. So he also dove into CRM with us, and he was just, I don't know what your perception.
Well, it was like all the things that he wanted as far as like lead flow and all of that. It's like, oh yeah, we have that. Oh, we have that. There were like, I think there was one feature that he wanted that we didn't exactly have, but it was just an opportunity to walk him right through the CRM. And I think there's a really good chance that he's probably going to cancel some other subscriptions and move over to the platform. So that's amazing, you know, and I don't know if this is where Patrick's going, but you know, you guys can do that too with your own clients. Like if we have a better solution, then it's a no-brainer. You bring them over. And I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and I think it's the guy was kind of talking about Jay Abramson or whatever. You guys probably know him. I haven't really listened to him. Abraham, yeah. But apparently he's like a really good business guy. And so I was learning a lot about this kind of, you know, try to find as many of the solutions upstream and downstream from your client as you possibly can. So you can just keep filling in the blanks and maybe cut some kind of a deal to send your clients one way or the other to get clients from one, you know, upstream or downstream and all of that. And it just really expand your thinking about how you can monetize the skill set and just the position that you're in. Even if you only have 5 clients, 3 clients, whatever the number is, you have five good business people clients. It's like you can take that and build on it and build other deals, because they all need the same types of things, right? So it's a really cool way to look at it.
I would encourage you guys all to read and study Jay Abraham. I know that he's actually the mentor for Taylor.
I'll drop a link in the chat for this guy. I've mentioned it before, Joseph Rodriguez, but he's so articulate. He just picks this stuff apart, and he delivers. It really strikes my brain, the way my brain thinks, but may not speak to everybody. But it's a really good resource. So I think he has like a 3-hour podcast, and he's just picking it apart and explaining it in terms of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Very cool. I got one other quick one to share. My wonderful wife, she hears me talking. She creates me a 2-drink combo. One is the tea with honey to renew the voice. In a second, she's really into this like drinking thing, like making fancy drinks. And she knows I like mint chocolate chips. So she created a grasshopper drink for me to have during her call tonight, because it's kind of been a long, stressful day. She's got ice cream. Look at the rim on this thing. I don't know if it's, look at that thing. It's kind of like chocolate around. This is restaurant quality. It's a win to have. Harry, you're not taking that out of my screen. I'm putting it down. All right. Let's get into the wins though. Let's do rapid fire here. We got a lot to cover on the call tonight. A few things that we're gonna first. Let's start off with wins. We'll go wins first. Who's got a win? Who did something cool this last 7 days? What do you got, Neil?
Real quick, I was battling with the rental car company that I got for when I went out to San Diego, because I only had it for a day. They charged me for a week, and I returned it within 24 hours. So they ended up only giving me $59 off. So I went back and forth. This has been going on for like 30 days. And they said, finally, nope, that's our policy. And I didn't read all that tiny, stuff.
Yeah.
So this was pay less in case anybody wants to know. You just stay away.
Sounds
But I
like a
did-
really reputable company.
I did a long review on it. It's Payless in San Diego. I did a long review on it, and I started out with pay less should be pay more, and then I went down and did the whole. But that review bumped me up a level in my Google, the guide. So it was kind of a bittersweet. I got bumped up a level. I like that.
Those I've had bad experiences with them. I've got stories on, not with Payless, with Enterprise, but we'll dive into that another time. I've got some entertaining stories of done a lot of traveling. And
Another quick win. We had a good accountability meeting with.
that was phase 2. So I'll circle back to that for the people that are in accountability groups on this call, which I know Neil, Devon. I don't know who's in the Facebook group that's on. I'd love to just hear from you guys, but I want to get through the wins first, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But I'd love to hear your experience with the accountability group so far. Anyone else got a win? Laurent, Lou, Harry, Devon, Spencer?
I got a couple trial clients yesterday. One of them already blew out on me. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's like, dude, I looked at the call volume today. He got like 5 calls and didn't answer a single one. And last night he started talking, oh my gosh, this would be amazing if I got calls. It's like, all right, well, answer the phone.
Pick up the
Oh.
phone, buddy. Yeah,
Right.
we only got to get lucky once, right? So he's not our guy. Well, the next guy will be our guy, maybe. So what do you got, Mr. Lou?
Pat, that office is giving me office envy, man. I like this new house. Sweet.
Yeah, man, come check it out. There's a great kitchen here where you can cook a steak for us. I'm holding you your offer of this. Like, so for those of you guys who don't know, Lou runs a catering company. Apparently, he's quite the chef, and I'm ready for this, Lou. I don't know if we're not that far away from each other now. A little jaunt over to Nashville.
There you go.
To the kitchen.
But that's not an office background. That's like your real actual office, yeah?
No comment.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's your real. It's beautiful, but anyway.
Thank you.
So we were in Disney last week, so I missed the call. But the week before that, I added another client, $500 a month. It's this masonry site. So like that's my
Great,
5th
baby.
client.
I know. I've seen you. You've landed 2 clients, I think, in the last couple months, right? I remember you shared a win about.
Yeah, it's 2 months in a row now. Yep.
That's great, man. That's great. I hope that, like I said, we're 12 months in, man. I hope that what you learned on these calls has contributed to this growth. And congratulations, Lou. I love to see you land clients, man.
No, I appreciate. Actually, I think one of Jeff's earlier posts, like when the group kind of started about softball prospecting, and getting stuff started that way, that really helped me in just, getting to know quicker. But it's all about just starting those conversations, and that's how the fire could start. So that was very, very helpful for me.
Yeah, that's
Glad to hear
great.
that. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
All right. Who else has got a win?
Yo, Patrick.
Spencer, what's up, brother?
Oh,
Thank you
dude.
for the awesome video today, man.
Hey, not a problem, man. I'm glad I could make your make your day. I have a buddy of mine that runs a appointment setting company, and I had spoken with him previously, just in general. He was, just making small talk, talking about the rank and rent model, G&B, stuff like that. And he had a customer of his, or client, I guess it would be, that is a landscaping coach. He has a group that he has, I don't know, a handful of guys that pay him on a monthly basis to coach them on landscaping. And he was looking for somebody to talk G&Bs. So he invited me onto his group yesterday, and it sounds like it's going to be a regular thing. But I had gotten on there. It was about, I don't know, maybe 15 guys, chatted briefly about the importance of G&Bs and verifying them and all that other good stuff. And had them hit me up for heat maps after, because unfortunately I don't know what was going on with the heat map yesterday, but it was very glitchy on me.
I tested it and it was working fine for me, and I got no other. I think there's something weird with your account, but we'll jump on that call either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll walk you through and we'll figure out what the issue is.
Yeah. So anyway, I had 3 guys hit me up. I told them to direct message me, and then I just ran heat maps for them, and just brought a ton of value, you guys. After those 3 heat maps I sent out, 2 guys wanted to jump on calls. And we ended up closing 1 guy today for an SEO package. And then his current website guy kind of got to be a little bit of a jerk, because it was a custom built site. And then sent him over an article about how WordPress sites break all the time and security issues and all this other stuff. And he was like, man, I can't believe the way these guys are acting. It was like toddlers throwing fits. But It looks like we're going to be building a new website for him. And so, $750 SEO client a month, plus he's like going to start adding G&B services and things of that nature. So off just this one call of me just going on, sharing some value to this landscaping group that seems like it's going to be a regular thing, I'll be able to build a ton of rapport with these guys. They're already in that mindset of growth because they're hiring a coach. So they don't have a problem. I think it's a lot easier, a lot easier of a way in, if that gives anybody ideas of trying to track down these contractor coaches out there.
Yeah, you're hitting on something that is directly in my wheelhouse now. Is when I started in this game, I started doing what everyone did, and then I thought, well, this is good to be able to approach one client, but you've put yourself now in a situation where you can potentially close like 10 or 15 people. I gave a speech to a group of contractors, and there was this was maybe like, I was maybe a year and a half in, and I was really nervous. I went to give this speech. At the time, I didn't have a lot of like public speaking experience, but I knew my material really well. And I was like, okay. And I know that I'm personable. So I was like, let's just like be yourself, relax, and then like deliver this. So there was like 24 people, 24 contractors there. And I think we closed 18 of them over like the course of a month. So those people I think are paying us still, like maybe we've lost like 1 or 2, but there's probably $30,000 a month coming through our agency because of that one speech that we gave. And you are now in this situation where you're going to be able to talk to these people each week, and you're going to have heat maps that are going to work in the future. And there's 2 things I want to tell you. Is like, first, like, what did you do to create this? I don't necessarily need the answer right now, but how do you repeat that? Because all of you guys should be seeking out those type of relationships where it's like finding a coach on something, or finding some kind of group where you can get in front of a bunch of people and like pitch the service. And then the second thing I want to say is like, it's great that you closed this guy for SEO. And if we had closed people on SEO deals every time they had requested SEO deals, then like we would have a lot less money than we do now, because what we do when that happens is we close them on lead gen deals. Like, we prove that we're the best at this. And then the pitch is like, hey, this is how we run our business. Like, I know that you want this, but I was like, when you're great at this, you don't do things the way that everyone else does them. You do them differently. Our time is more valuable than these SEO companies, and that we've chose to do it this way. So when we build out our sites and we rank our sites and we give you 100% of the leads that are coming through. We're forming a partnership. This is a long-term partnership where you can focus on landscaping. I'll focus on this stuff. As we get better, like if I put $1 in your pocket, or if I put $5 in your pocket, will you give me $1? What if I put $10? Will you give me $2? Right? So that's how this is going to grow over time. It's an art form to take these people that want SEO and turn them into lead gen. And it is one of the most important skills that you can have in this. And these people are going to present this. No one's ever going to say, hey, hey, Spencer, can you build the site that you own and I pay you for it indefinitely? Like, they're not going to come to you and say that. You need to position that, and you need to express to them why it's in their best interest. And there's an alignment there. So when you do SEO, right, not only do they own the website, but you probably aren't going to, like, the level of tracking is going to be a little bit harder. Your motivation to get them to the next level is going to be less, right? If you compare this person to your other ones, I know that you have some lead gens, right? If you compare that to this, like, you're going to be putting more into it. So you need to let them know that, like, hey, we're going to kind of be your technical partner on this. We're going to take this thing. We can start it out at X, but I want to structure this deal in a way where the better we do, the better you do. And it kind of goes around in a circle. And then what does that look like a year from now, 2 years from now? I'm not taking any equity in your business or anything like that. But what we're doing is we're setting this up based on performance. So it's going to be very well aligned. Most of these SEO companies, they're going to get their money regardless of what they deliver. The way we're going to structure this is going to be on performance. I don't want a contract. You can cancel anytime, but it's going to be, hey, if we deliver this, we can track it. We're going to give you access to this awesome system that will let you see this and have complete transparency to this. So you can see your numbers. And as those numbers grow, all I ask is that we be fair and we continue to raise our rate in accordance with delivering more stuff to you. So it's an awesome win. You have 2 wins here. One is like closing a client. 2 is like positioning yourself in front of this group where you can, like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you have their ear on a regular basis, if you can close all 15 of these people. Like, that could be, like, in landscaping. I mean, that could easily be $25,000, $30,000 a month. I would immediately start building lead gen stuff for these people too. Like, look, like the spend could be like, when it starts producing, look, I know that you were paying this for me. I just went out on my own and I built my own stuff because I wanted to supplement your business. And, like, I want to give this to you. Like, obviously I want to be paid for it, but I wanted to do more work than the $750 a month that you were providing, and position myself to where, like, we could add more value to your company, right? I'm not charging you anything for the building of this thing. I just want, like, hey, if these leads are going to be worth something to you, let's work out a deal, right? There's a lot of different ways to kind of position this where it's going to make sense for them. Does that all make sense, Spencer?
Yeah, and it totally makes sense. I just use this as a foot in the door. I had gotten on a Zoom call last night. We did a site audit, and I mean, his site looked beautiful, but as far as keywords went, I mean, it was talking about counties. I said, man, if it didn't mention these counties, I would have no clue where you're at. Where are you? He's like, oh, we're in Northern Cali, in the wine country. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a problem, because if I don't know where you're at, Google doesn't know where you're at. And so, you know, I definitely will start building properties, and we'll get it to where this guy is going to dominate in landscaping in that whole area. Because I have no doubt that we'll be able to do that even with just his regular company, let alone lead gens as well. But, you know, to answer your question, Patrick, the way I got here, honestly, is by surrounding myself with people like yourself. I know it sounds super cliche, but for me to get on a Zoom call and have a shit ton of confidence to talk to guys is, for what I consider myself very new in this game, less than 2 years. I'm constantly talking with mentors like Patrick, and I'm like, man, right when you think you know that you have a grasp on something else comes along, and Patrick's like, you don't know what you don't know, right?
That's right.
And so for me, it's just constantly surround myself. The one thing for me is, with all my careers, it seems like with my ADHD, I get bored of them real quickly. I can tell you, I'm never getting bored of this type of business, because it's constantly changing. It constantly keeps you on your feet. And so just shout out to all the great like people that are willing to share their knowledge, because that just gives me a ton of confidence by just learning from people.
Yeah, I agree with you, Spencer, on not getting bored. I'm the same way. Like I tend to get bored with things pretty easily, but this business model definitely gives me consistent challenges. And, you know, even just like hearing Patric, if you know, I say review the tapes, the last like 6 minutes. I mean, the positioning that Patric delivers is just like, I learn something every time I hear a spiel like that out of him. And it's really awesome. So I try to emulate that as much as I can when I'm prospecting as well and talking to clients. It's like, positioning, he just has that like anchored in way better than I do. There are a couple wins in Facebook. Jeremy found a business owner to take leads for his first ranked lead gen. So congratulations on ranking your first lead gen. That's awesome. You got yourself a trial client. Let's turn it into money. And then Yusef got a SEO client that was happy with their first month. All right, let's see what happens on month number 2.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, the first month, if you got someone happy the first month, kind of sucks is like in a lot of our niches heading into the winter, especially the holidays, like next month, like for a lot of us, leads are going to die. And we were just talking about this now is I've challenged Jeff and the managers to add $17,000 in top line revenue before the end of the year. So what I don't want to happen is to like pre-sell a bunch of stuff. Like that's not really gonna, because that's not going to be a big bottom line revenue situation, right? Because like we've got a bunch of unsold stuff. So like we've got our own goals in here within our company. And, you know, we're going after it just like you guys are. And this is kind of leading us into accountability. So for those of you guys that aren't in the accountability groups, check out the last like 2 lives. I think we went through it. Important stuff. You don't have to be in a group to use this methodology that has amazing results for achieving goals. Not having a goal, you're probably not going to get there. You know, we just booked a trip for like 6 weeks in Europe, and I guarantee you when the pilot leaves, he has an exact pathway of where he's going. And some of you guys in your business aren't willing or haven't taken the time to write down your pathway of where you're going. And just having it in your head of like, hey, I want to get to 10K a month. That's like not having a plan, essentially. That's just like, that's the pilot over there saying like, I don't have a plan on where I'm going to go, but I want to go fly over to France, right? He's like, it's like, that's what I want to do, right? Like a pilot would never say that and they would never have the results. So I encourage you guys, whether you're part of the accountability groups or not, come up with a plan, work backwards, come up with a time frame. A goal without a time frame is like, it's not a goal, it's like an idea. It's just like, it's like a little fantasy that like, this probably is not going to happen. Like it can happen anytime, right? If I want to say, hey, I want to lose 4 pounds, right? When? Like, okay, am I successful 8 years from now? Well, nope. I never put a time frame on it. So you got to have a time frame. You got to have a plan. Take the time to do this. Kind of treat yourself to this, and it will take some stress out of your brain if you can write this stuff down, right? I'm going to come up with, I went through some really good training recently on like time organization stuff, and I'm going to find a way to share that. I just want to make sure that I need to like check with the place that I got it from, that it's cool to share it, or maybe I'll just refer you guys to it because
You can just
I think it was awesome. What's that?
Yeah, we can just redo it, you know?
Yeah, I just don't want to violate any of their stuff, you know? Okay, cool. So Neil, you're in the accountability groups. How was week 1? What was it like? What did you guys do? Is he awake right now?
I think he's taking a nap.
You're muted, man.
Are you up, Neil? Oh, where's he at?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute. It was good. Actually, it ran right into this call. So I just saw Devon. We just got done. It was good. You know, we started out, everybody introduced themselves, you know, kind of your background, just so we knew, you know, where we were, where we come from, you know, what, you know, pretty much what our interests are. And we went through our goals, and it was kind of good too, because we were kind of masterminding on some stuff. And so it went beyond just the goals, we had a little bit of camaraderie, you know? And so now we're gonna hold each other to the fire every week, you know?
I like it. You care to share one of your goals?
Well, I had 4, so
Just give me one of them.
lose 20 pounds.
Lose 20 pounds. Okay, so just as an example, what does that look like? So the plan you came up with, we have 79 days left in the year right now. So what does that look like? You've got 79 days to lose 20 pounds. So what's the plan to do so?
Well, I'm already ahead, you know, I'm down 3, you know, according to your track, the chart you gave us,
Yeah.
spreadsheet. And, you know, it's just obviously watching what I'm eating. Like I put in my thing, hey, I'm a fat bastard. You know, what's difficult about this? Well, no, I'm not fat, you know, I just gotta lose 20 pounds. But I gotta watch what I eat. I gotta exercise, and I gotta watch the amount that I eat. You know, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. So what I'm looking for is like, okay, so you've got 79 days left to lose 20 pounds, right? So you've got to
17
schedule.
pounds.
What's that?
17 now. I started right when you said the first of the month.
Okay. So 17 pounds. So the way the tracking works is like halfway through, you should be at 10 pounds, right?
I don't know. It varies because certain stages, some weeks it's 5 pounds, the next week it's 5 pounds again, or I don't know how it's calculated, but just say it's 10 pounds at the halfway point.
Right. So you're going to be checking in on this and looking to make sure that you're on pace with where it is. And then the idea is if you're off, you're going to adjust. And you've got what I would like to see if I were in your accountability group, what I would probably demand of you is like, hey, when are you exercising? How long? What is the exercise consist? If this means like, hey, I'm going to walk around the block like, 3 times a day. Okay. So that's going to happen at like 9, 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I'm going to have this many calories, right? So the more details that you can put into this stuff, the better chance you don't have all this like wiggle room. You put yourself into a box that's going to deliver results. And then if you do that, the little devil on our shoulder that likes to justify us out of situations doesn't have that wiggle room. And the people in your accountability group are supposed to be like, okay, so this is like, did you do this? Like you said, like, hey, how many days a week have you walked 3 times? What's the calories look like? So that you're really like checking in with the person. And that's how this accountability, it's great to form these friendships and to mastermind and this type of thing. But I think it's really important to, to like take a stand for these people and like, don't let them slide and make sure that their goals are almost like your goals. Right. So I hope that's what's going on.
It is because I did bring up what I was doing for exercise. It was all part of the plan. I switched from riding in a golf cart to walking the course, just different things to burn more calories or what have you. And also, like I said, I started this on the 1st. Another goal was to read 2 books, right? But after the first week, I saw that, damn, I'm easily going to be able to read 2 books. So I added a book because it just seemed like it wasn't going to be hard.
Stretchy.
What's that?
You want to make it stretchy.
Yeah. So I added another book just to challenge myself, so.
Yeah. The more you guys challenge yourself on this stuff, you're gonna find that like, hey, everybody talks about comfort zone and getting out of the comfort zone is a good thing. But like, what does that actually mean? So that can mean like going and giving like public speaking when you're not comfortable with that. But that can also mean like, hey, instead of like doing what I normally do where I take a break and I eat and I'm gonna like turn on some kind of like sitcom for a minute, I'm gonna read during this time, even though it's not as comfortable for me. Or I'm gonna stay up. I need to stay up an hour later to accomplish my goal for the day because my day didn't go like I had planned. And now I'm going to stay on pace and it's not comfortable for me to stay up. It's doing this like little stuff that like those little things and those little justifications of why we don't do this stuff that matters. Right. And it adds up over time. So when you have a goal and you have to stay on pace, then you're going to find a way to do this stuff if you're really committed to it. So awesome. It sounds like you guys are off to a great start. Devon, let's hear from you. How's your accountability group going?
It's great. It's definitely a spectrum of experiences in terms of where we're at with the process, but really tying it into, I guess, too, like a win with being able to listen to Daily Mind Medicine now and getting introduced to Taylor Welsh and Traffic and Funnels, and primarily that productivity pack you and I talked about, I think is monumental and something that I wish I had known about in the beginning. I don't know if I'd have been able to handle it in the beginning, but just to be able to quantify everything, to understand what a goal is versus what a constraint is, how to keep things off your mind, and then be able to openly address that with other people, to show that if you're not on track, then you really don't have a reason to not be on track with it. So, and to stretch your goals too.
Training I was just talking about, everyone, that Taylor Welsh's productivity pack. I think you said you paid like $9 for it or something,
It is
right?
$9. If you're going to order a planner, it is $20 altogether. It's $29, and it might be the best investment that you can do outside of LeadGenerated, but
I got it. Awesome.
Yeah, goes without saying, right?
yeah.
All right. Cool. Lawrence, how has week 1 of the accountability group gone for you? Bonjour.
Well, so it was good in the sense that I wrote some goals down. I'm not too much of a goal person. I'm usually achieving a lot, but without putting goals. So at least now I have a plan. From a group perspective, we did not met yet. I think not everyone got their goals done right now, but we will be pushing for those guys to do it.
Yeah, and this may be a spot for you to step into a leadership role here and say, look, and I'll do it for you in this case. You guys all agreed to join this accountability group. You have to find time to make this a priority, because when you guys don't find the opportunity to meet with the group, you're hurting the entire group, right? We've agreed when we signed up that we're going to be a part of, committed to this and finding the time. So this isn't just for Lawrence group. This is for everyone. Like, step up and find some time, make some extra time, make this happen, move forward as a group. It matters, right? It matters a lot if these are goals that are important to you. So sometimes you got to drop the hammer, and I think the key, Laurent, is to do it. Not that you wouldn't. I know that you're very you're very likable in your delivery and sweet, but there has to be a way to look, guys, let's come up with let's someone's got to step in there and say, let's come up with the time. Let's do this. Let's get this done. And you guys name your group. Let's do this. I'd encourage you guys to name the group. So do it then. Let's do this. Right. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll be on. I'm a little disappointed that you guys haven't met yet. That sucks, because now we're, instead of having I think it was 86 days, you have 79 days to do the same stuff. Hopefully you guys are, Lorette, I know you had your goals, so hopefully those goals are moving through and going through. And then if somebody can't be on the call, then maybe you guys have it without that person or something, but find a way to make that happen. Okay, cool. Is there anyone else? I don't think there's anyone else on the Zoom.
Devon, if you can share the link to the productivity pack. Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. I'll just share it on the Facebook group. But one thing that kind of struck me when I went through the productivity pack the other night, it definitely triggered something in me that was like, wow, I'm missing the boat on so many things here as far as goal setting and all of that. Even though I have a vision board and I've done that stuff for a long time, and I have a lot of things that I'm doing right. There's certainly a lot of things that I have to tweak. And then the last week or so, I've been tuned in with this Yusef Rodriguez for a couple of years on and off, but the last week I've just been consuming so much of his content. And at one point he was talking about this discipline, and I've been pretty disciplined about many things in my life, but there's a lot of things that I'm not disciplined about. And so the way he was kind of framing it is that, discipline, it kind of sounds boring. It sounds like it's really hard or something, but it's not. It's just you've kind of trained your brain to make the right decision around some kind of a topic, like in my case, health. I'm pretty good with health, being disciplined around that. So it's not even an issue. It's not even a question in my mind. It's just, I'm doing this thing because I know it's going to have a positive impact on my life. and I know it's going to make me feel better. And if I choose to do the other thing, it's going to make me feel bad or have a negative impact. So it's not even a decision. It's just, I'm doing this. And so I think the more of these things that you can tune in your life of the actions that you're going to take and just make them automatic, that's discipline. It's not like I'm not sitting there going, oh my gosh, I have to eat right, or oh, I have to work out, or what. It's like, I just do it because I'm disciplined to do it. Like I've trained my brain to think that way. So I thought it was an interesting way to frame it. I've never really thought about it in that depth before, but it really helps me to expand that to other areas of my life where I'm not doing that right. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's the Joseph
constant-
Rodriguez guy. He's not the guy that's like in these groups with us. This is some other like.
Yeah, no, he's like an entrepreneur, but he brings a lot of concepts together from
Yeah.
like Napoleon Hill and Neville Goddard and all those old school guys.
Not to be confused with the guy, I think he's from Florida. He's like maybe in the previous group that we were in and a few of these other groups that someone in here said they talked to him last night. I don't think it's the same person.
Oh yeah, maybe not.
Okay, cool. Let's get moving here. So awesome for those of you guys that have chosen to participate in the accountability groups. I know that there is a few things for us to discuss. Like, first off, you guys didn't see it. We dropped in the automations. We dropped in the phone system into the platform. Google Analytics is now live in there. We are pushing forward really hard for the ability to white label the whole platform. So that means that you could have like crm.harrygilliam.com as you could set it up, and there won't be anything that kind of like goes back to LeadGenerated, which will be a cool thing for you guys to be able to sell this and to bring on other people. And maybe you're selling like reputation management or something like that, and they can't really see the price if it's going through there. So it can look branded, it can make you look professional. So that's kind of where we're moving towards with that. I also want to talk about, let me just bring up my handy LeadGenerated.com application here. Let me log in. We'll get set up. Give me 1 second here. As I mentioned, we're going to be going into, we've got some affiliate stuff. So, all right, screens will be shared. I'm going to do my best to get the right one, which seems like there's about a 5% chance. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I lost the Zoom picture now. Hold on. Getting organized. Okay, cool. Can you guys see the screen that has the beautiful LeadGenerated app on it? We all agree that it's beautiful. Okay, cool. All right, so look up here. If you go into your name in the top right, you'll see that there is an option that says referrals. Okay, so up here, you can have this link and you can copy this. So I think the plan that we're going to do, and I don't have this set in stone, is that you'll get 30% ongoing from your first 5 referrals. And I think the next 10 will be at 35%, and anything after 15 will be at 40% ongoing. For some reason, I feel the need to say this. If you are an affiliate, you do not get ownership of the company, okay? So you do not get partial ownership of this platform for being an affiliate, even if you launch it into a Facebook group and a bunch of people like it. So we have tracking in here. So you can copy this link and then you can go in here and you can see your earnings. Right now, it's a payout through PayPal. We're setting up a Stripe payout. So you'll be able to track this stuff through and be able to see the people that signed up and what they paid. There's a 15-day delay on the affiliate stuff. So that means like, and then if for whatever reason, we decide that a refund is necessary for these people, we will take it out of your future earnings from this. So if this person gets refunded, then that will be pulled out of the future earnings from it. So we're going to make that really clear when that happens. But everything is completely transparent in here. You have to have, I think, a minimum amount to be able to withdraw, but can be done through here. We're going to be building in training on how to kind of market this stuff and how to build this up. So for those of you guys, like, I have paid for 100% of this platform, right? I've paid for the support. I've spent, as you guys have probably noticed, like thousands and thousands of hours into this thing. I'm sure we're more than 10,000 hours that I've spent in this over the last 4 years of building it and rebuilding it and constructing it. And I think for the most part, you guys have used this and you spent some time in it, but to be able to get an ongoing percentage from something like this for not having to handle the support or the development, there's a part of me that's like, hey, this is awesome because I can give this like great product to people and I'm gonna have an army of people supporting it. There's a part of me that like, hey, this is a big chunk to give away. So if I've thought about it and I'm like, man, this is a phenomenal deal. And if I were in your guys' shoes and you guys believe in this product, you believe in the support and the team that's on it, like this is an awesome opportunity for you guys to make a ton of money. 40% ongoing, sign someone up one time and we're going to handle all the support and all the extra development and everything like that. So I think it's a great opportunity. There's people on my team that work for me that I've given them this same affiliate idea and they're all building out blogs and all sorts of different things. And, they're in groups pushing people towards our product. So for those of you guys that are inclined, I think that is a awesome opportunity. I would be all over it to have that percentage. There were some people that approached me that kind of have like a competing product and they weren't software engineers. They tried to build this product. I'm not going to mention any names or anything or exactly what their product does, but they said, hey, we'd like to hire you as a consultant to help us because after years of building this thing, it appears that our code might be all dead and we're going to have to start from scratch. And I said, well, like you guys are going to basically start from scratch. And in the end, you're going to have like 20 to 25% of the functionality of this other platform. And then you guys are going to divide this up between each other. So there's like 5 or 6 of them. So they're going to get like whatever, 15 to 20% or something. It's like, you could just essentially get 40% if like after your first like 15 people forever and never have to like pay for the development or the support. And they're like, well, that seems like a lot better than what we had planned on doing, but there's something to be said about, having ownership and things and some people like that. But for those of you guys that believe in this and are looking for like quick cash, like support us, send these links and I think that you guys know the ones that have been here for the last, 10 to 12 months, or some of us have known each other for longer than that. Like we do everything we can to try to like make everything right. I think Sarah here, I owed her a refund on something because she was a part of the champagne room. And, I 100% like, we're going to honor that every single time. I'm going to do whatever we have to do to make it right, even if it means that we're going to lose money. And that's the same way I run our agency. And I'll tell you, like, it may seem like, I don't know why more people don't take that attitude, but like they have their reasons for that. We've taken the opposite, I guess, the long-sighted view, not the short-sighted. And we have a phenomenal referral network from not only people that are signing up for the software that are coming to us regularly, but also our clients within the agency. So if you're not doing this, find a way in your agencies to over deliver and see where it leads you, because I'll tell you, for us, it's been phenomenal. I appreciate all the support you guys have given us over the last 12 months. A lot of you guys are up for the yearly renewals. You guys have received the grandfathered price if you have the yearly renewals, right? I know that for some of you guys, the last 12 months did not go as planned with your agency. I hope that you didn't find the shortcoming was with the software or with the support or the group. If you guys are not taking advantage of these calls, I've basically poured my heart out and tried to lay out every single piece of what we do. Like I've been in a lot of groups and I kind of felt like the people that are leading them are holding stuff back. I hope you guys have not felt that way, because I've basically given our playbook of what we've done, what we did to build a 7-figure marketing agency that, I'm involved, but largely it runs on autopilot. And like, I know that's where a lot of you guys want to go. And if you haven't been on these calls, like I encourage you to jump on these calls. Whether you decide to continue with the software or not, you're welcome to stay and use these calls and hopefully, grow your business. And at some point, the business model will click. The price will be justified. For those of you that have the grandfather price, I encourage you to find a way. This software, I'm not offering it at that price this year. So those of you guys that signed up 12 months ago, like you essentially have it at like, for instance, Spencer here. he did not sign, we didn't know each other 12 months ago. He does not have the grandfathered price, right? I'm sure that he would love to have the grandfathered price. Everybody else, like, that has it, like, there's something to be said to finding a way to keep it, right? And you see that I believe we've doubled the functionality in the last 12 months. Your price hasn't gone up, right? Like, obviously there's a separate price for the phone system. Unfortunately, that's something that is a variable cost for us. So as you guys get more numbers and stuff, that increases our costs. So I can't just give you endless phone system time at your original price. That is not a good business model for us. So we've got this. I know that there was a request, I think, from Miss Amy Singleton on automation. So a couple of things, guys. There's two different plans, right? There's the CRM plan, and then there is the phone system plan. Because of their nature, they're not currently included. We might have some packages in the future that kind of like include those things. With your CRM plan, all of you guys get one free number. Okay, that phone number can be used for like tracking. It can be used for texting. A lot of the pieces that are going to be in the system, texting is a big part of this. Okay, so like automations, for instance. Let's go over this. I know Amy's request was, I'm going to kind of do this in two parts real quick. So I'm going to go into this funnel
Patric,
here.
There were a couple of questions in the chat about the affiliate, so I'll let you handle that.
Is that in the Zoom chat?
Yeah,
I've got this. Okay,
that's
let's
not
do
you
it.
also. However you want to answer that.
I'm searching for them.
Well, I can tell you, I did post a question if you want,
Yeah,
Patric,
yeah, go ahead.
So should we target, when we are marketing for the tool, should we say lead generated or LeadSnap?
I would say the second one. That is going to be really the direction that we go in long term. We're always going to support this one, but they're actually going to be kind of like merged. And I will be building in another piece that I wanted to share with you guys is, I don't know how much time and money that the people we have spent on our team in training. I'll tell you that I joined that mastermind group is $30,000 for 6 months that I joined. And we've done other platforms, and I'm basically taking everything I've learned and I'm building my own courses, and I'm going to build that into the platform and have like A to Z on every step. So that is going to be a part of the latter one. I'm not really trying to push that one in this group. There's no significant difference at this time between these platforms, right? So both have all the same functionality. Does that answer your question, Laurent?
Yes, so if it's the case, then maybe we need a different link, because here I think the link that you have is lead generated. We might need something LeadSnap for that.
That's a great question. I don't have a clean answer for right now. Let me think about that, and I just don't know how to do that yet. I'm trying to, yeah. I don't have a clean answer for it right now. Sorry. Either one though, it's essentially going to be the same. So whether they sign up to either platform, a lot of times we move them over to the other one. That's where we're going to spend a lot of our focus. Was there another question?
Same question, two people.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah. All right. So, additionally, I think we'll be having like mastermind groups, and you know, I know a lot of you guys have reached out to me for coaching, for one-on-one coaching, and it's not something that I'm currently offering, but I think it's just, honestly, it's probably not like, I appreciate the compliment of all these people asking me to give them one-on-one coaching. First of all, I know that like you're doing that because you believe in me and you trust me. And I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. It's hard for me to come up with a number where I'm going to be regularly giving up my time, and I don't like to do things half-ass. So doing coaching is a tough point for me because I feel like I'm going to be personally responsible for someone's success to do it correctly. But I've been thinking about doing some kind of like mastermind groups where maybe we do a small group of like 5 to 7 people, because like I need to do this in a way that makes sense for me too. And where people are going to be able to like afford it based on the level that they are. So I'm trying to think of a way to solve that. And we're going to have a marketplace built into these where the different services are available. So services that we've tested and vetted. And, I think we're going to make that kind of like, maybe that will be part of the marketplace of where we're going. So we have some huge plans for this stuff. If you guys look at where we've come in the last 12 months, like the different parts and pieces that are in here and how they've changed, like where are we going to be 12 months from now? This whole time, we really haven't done any marketing of our own. And now that's changing. Now we're pushing this, right? Now we're going to really go after it. We're launching the affiliate. We're going to do all sorts of things to try to, like I'm speaking in some other groups this week that have thousands of people in them. So we're going to really be going after this and building this up. What is that going to do to our development team? And what is that going to look like 12 months from now? So, you guys got to do what makes the most sense for you. And, for those of you that are on the fence about like, hey, do I renew? Do I not renew? Consider that, look where it is. But in the end, like no hard feelings. If you guys don't want to renew, like I'm not offended. Do whatever makes the most sense for your business, right? It's like you're not going to make or break me or my company with your decision. So once you get those Maslow's pyramid of needs, you stop thinking about, most of us stop thinking about like the finance part of it as much. And now you're moving into like self-actualization and making an impact on people. And that's where I find myself is I get much more excited about the impact of having this with you guys and seeing the strides you make, which is why we get on here and pour our hearts out. I've jumped on Zoom calls with you guys because of that same thing. You don't need this like software to like, I'll still do that whether you have a subscription or not when I have time, if as much as possible. But my wife is telling me I need like, hey, spend more time with yourself. So I'm also working towards that and kind of getting pulled in these directions too. But I want to have this impact for you guys, and we're going to take whatever comes in from the software and it's going back into the software, right? And we're going to continue to grow this and push this thing. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited. We're at this like 12 months in. I had my own doubts when I started this. Like, what am I going to be able to support this? Am I going to let these people down? Is this software as cool as I think it is? And seeing your guys' responses for the last 12 months has been just phenomenal. That like, what a growth time period. All right. I'm going to go into this automation thing. Jeff, we don't have any more questions before I hop into this.
We are good to go.
Clean. All right, cool. All right. So we click on new automation. You guys have a few different options here. One of the options is review requests. Okay. So review request is just a template. You can change this, or you could have built this from scratch. So this is what I think is like an easy starting spot. With the guy that we were dealing with, I'll show you what we set up because he wants to get more reviews and he wants to do some tracking and stuff. So that was the call that Jeff and I were on prior to this call. So the automation has no trigger for this one. Trigger is not necessary. There's several spots throughout the application where you can just like add someone into an automation, right? It doesn't have to start with the trigger. This step right here is key though. It says end if review submitted. So it's going to stop it if a review submitted. Let's look at what our trusty old company, Shiv's Bear Removal. Okay, so Shiv's Bear Removal here, right? So for those of you guys who haven't taken advantage of this reputation management just like took a big step up when we paired it with automations. Okay, so now like I know one of the most important things for ranking a GMB is the amount of reviews, and to have an automated system in here is key. You guys need to think about enrolling your clients in the idea of being the ones that get reviews for you, for those of you that have them. I know that it doesn't necessarily solve the problem for the people that don't have a client yet, right? But for those of you that do, you can build out this custom funnel here, right? And then the way it works, if you're not familiar, is you click on this preview button. They don't click on the preview button. They'll get sent a link, right? So they're going to get sent a link to leave a review. So the funnel is associated with the company. The lead is associated with the company. When the lead goes through, you have the option to include that funnel. I'll talk about that in just a minute, but I just want to get clear on this. So I've got in my text and color here. I've got in my logo. And then if I click on 5 stars, it's going to show the review site that I've added. Okay, so it's going to take me right to the spot where I can leave a review. Okay, so if they click on 1 star, then it's going to show the feedback form and that can be routed to our client. All right, so now that we are clear on that, let's hop back over here to this automation and we'll say end if review is submitted. How are we determining if a review is submitted? So the way that we are determining this is if they click on 5 stars and then they click on Google, that right there is the flag that's determining it. We don't know if they actually left the review. Google is not going to say like, hey, the person with this phone number left a, we don't have that connection. So we're using this. This is like the last exit essentially, right? So we're using that to determine if that review has been left. Okay, so it's going to stop if that happens, or if it goes to feedback, it's going to stop. So what I've just set up here is I have like a text message, and notice I have the leads phone number. So you have a few different options. You can use the leads, the clients, or you can use some other one. Okay, so we'll probably set this up to have a few other options. I've got some ideas for that, but that will send it to the one that's associated with the lead. And you can say like, hey, this is the way I got this right here that says client name is I like came over here and I dragged this over here. So that will substitute in the client name that's associated with the company. So this is like, if this is Shiv's Berry Removal, it will say, hey, this is Shiv with Shiv's Berry Removal. We really appreciate the trust you put in our business by hiring us. We're doing our best to spread the word on our company. We would love to hear your experience and all that other stuff, right? So I don't want to send them this. I want to respect their like schedule. This is a text message. So maybe I even want to change this to be like Monday through Friday between 9 and 6 p.m., right? This link option is key because right now there's nothing included here. So what we want to do is we want to include this link, and this is a link to the review funnel. So that's a link to this right here. So when they send that text, it's going to include that link. And we need to remove this for texting because there's no label. It's a text message. It's going to look like this, right? Or maybe, I guess it does, it puts a little text above it. That's the little preview. This isn't the actual link, but it kind of gives you the idea of how that's going to work. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and you can see that it's set up to wait 3 days. So it says, wait, like there's an action in here that says wait, right? So I can say wait, and then I can say wait until the next day, next week, or until some time passes. So what I did is you could say hours or minutes. It's pretty flexible. So obviously this can be used outside of reputation management. If I wanted to send a text message to the person that submitted a form to my site, but I don't want to do it instantly. Maybe I want to wait a little bit just so that it looks real, right? So, okay, so I'm going to delete this step. We're waiting 3 days. So basically what we're saying is we're going to do that. We're going to start this immediately, and we're going to make sure that it's between these hours, and then we're going to send a text message that includes the link. And we're going to continue to do this unless a review is submitted because of that, right? So I'm going to end if a review is submitted. So I'm going to wait 3 days, and then I'm going to send an email. So now I've done something similar. Hey, this is client name with company name. We're doing our best to improve, blah, blah, blah. So I've got an option here for a button because this is an email. We can actually have a button, and I could say like leave review or whatever I want this to say. And you'll see there's going to be a little preview down here. This is the button that's going to be included. I can change the colors or whatever I want. I can change the text color. All right, so emails, it's probably okay to send that in the middle of the night. I don't know, like I would feel comfortable with that, but you can also change the schedule if you want. And I could continue to do this if I wanted to. I could add in another wait. So maybe this time I'm going to wait till next week because I don't want to harass them, but I wouldn't go more than like 3 requests because at some point you're probably not going to get a good review if you get it, if you just harass these people, right? So, so that, Amy, is how you can do this. So here's level 2 of how I would do this. Okay, so this is a great way to request reviews, and you can do this in a lot of different spots. So let's just look at a couple of these. So I'm going to leave this. I'm not saving this one. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just look at a lead. I've got way too many columns added in here. The developer of the software needs to fix the UI so you don't have to go to the bottom. All right. So I'm going to look at this, and you can see that there's a button up here that says add to automation. And that isn't working exactly how I want. Another spot you can do this is on the contacts. you go through and click on a contact and then click add to automation, you'll get an error message because apparently we have a problem with our code here. We'll get this fixed. Whenever we drop in all this functionality, we're going to run into a couple errors. So if any of you guys see them, be patient with us, but let us know. Communicate that like if you don't know how something works, or if it's not working, let us know. We're eliminating these things pretty quickly and going through it. But basically what would happen typically is you could add to automation. You'll see a list of automations. I don't know why it's giving me an error. And then you can put them into that sequence. Another thing that you can do. So that's like how you can add a lot of people to the sequence. But here's a cool idea that we're going to be doing in our agency. So I'm going to create a new automation, and okay, so I'm actually going to pair a couple different automations together, and then I'm going to make this work how I want. So when I go to send the lead, so let's pretend that we're at that step when a lead's coming in, and it's going to be like, we'll say it's a new form submission, or maybe a new form submission or phone call. And we'll say that the company is equal to Alan's company. Okay, so now we're saying like, hey, if there's a new form submission or new phone call from Alan's company, and let's pretend that Alan's company is like a tow truck company. So this is like Alan's towing. So the sales cycle in towing is pretty quick, right? This isn't something that's going to go on for like a week, right? So we know that like this, like when this stuff comes in, the job is going to be closed pretty quickly. Okay, so new form submission, new phone call comes in from one of these companies. What if I were to send a text message to, I don't know if we have Alan, we'll pretend that Anthony Baker is the client for Alan's company. And we could say, hey, Anthony, did you close this lead? Okay. And I'm going to wait a little bit of time. Let's say that the sales cycle is 2 hours. They're going to know whether this is closed or not in 2 hours. So I'm going to say that, and I'm going to include a link, and you'll notice that your friendly developers here have included a link to lead. So the way this will work is Anthony can get a text message, and that text message is going to have a link that's going to go directly to that lead. And then I'm going to set up a status that this guy, so I'll make a custom field with our website forms. I'm going to make a field that says like job status, and it could be like sold or not sold, or like closed or lost, or something like that. So if they mark it as lost or mark it as closed, I could set that up as a trigger for my reputation management, right? So then I can automate, I automated the process of requesting a review from the client based on their sales cycle. And then I've set up a trigger to where if they update the field status, so you could see I'm just going to do this for demonstration purposes here. You can see that we have a field status updated trigger here. So if I had a field status and job status, cool, I already have this set up. If they mark this as sold, then that could trigger my reputation management request. So how cool is that, right? So now we've got the process of it automated requesting a review and getting an updated status from our client, triggering that whole sequence of reviews for our client, right? So this is what I meant when I said like this reputation management really took a step up with the automations, because now we can just trigger that whole thing, right? So for those of you guys that are, you haven't signed up for a phone plan, like I said, you don't need a phone plan to start taking advantage of this. All your accounts, if you've got a subscription to this platform, you get one free phone number. So what you'll need to do is you'll come over here to text. It's going to ask me, okay, I'm going to leave that. And okay, the way this is going to work when we fix this bug that is in here with texting is you're going to have the ability to come over here and purchase a number. So you're going to associate the number with a company, so Alan's company, and then I can come down here, and I've already taken my free number in this company. For those of you guys that haven't, you'll see that there will be an option here where it'll just say select. So you're not actually purchasing it. And then that number can be used in your automations. That can be used for notifications, for text messages. You can text with this. You can make calls from this. This can be used in your browser too, right? Like I can do a browser call. I can select my company, select my tracking number, and I can make an outgoing call right here. Or I can have it go to my phone, right? So I could put in Jeff's phone number here. I could put my phone number in here. And then when I click on begin call, it's going to call Jeff on my, it's going to call my phone number first and say press 1. And when I press 1, it's going to call Jeff, but it's going to call Jeff from this tracking number, right? So that's pretty cool to be able to make those outgoing calls right from here. The mobile applications would have been ready, but instead I decided to fire my mobile developers. So we are in search of replacing them right now. I would encourage you guys that are paying your people to make sure you monitor their time and that they're actually working during their time, because I've found a lot of theft in our company, and that's sad and it's unfortunate, but it's part of the business, and it's a learning experience, right? Some of you guys are looking to port your numbers. So down here, we have the option to port. This is like really beautiful user interface that no one could possibly be confused by, right? Certainly not the case. This is version 1. We're going to make this a lot easier here pretty soon. I'm going to give you a rough overview of how this works so that I know that there's been a lot of requests to port numbers into our system. One, the caveat is like, look, we've tested this and we've used our phone system for a while. What I've learned, if anything, I've learned over the last 12 months of running this like software is we'll spend so much time trying to test things and beat on it. And then we put it out there and you guys seem to find a way to break things that I know like the conditions in software are really complex, right? The relationships. So some things, like we set our things up differently and it didn't yield the test apparently for some of the stuff. And then like you guys, things are set up a little bit different. And for some reason that causes, so I would encourage you before you put like the lifeline of your business into the system, let's get a few numbers in there. Let's test it. I don't want to be responsible for any problems. And we're at the beginning of this. We could label this phone system as beta, essentially. I believe in it. I'm starting to move all my things to it. Like we had issues and we fixed them, and I don't know of any issues. So want to be like completely transparent with this. You guys have seen, like, we're going to make this thing not have any issues. If those issues do exist, whatever bugs exist, we will it's the most important thing to me to like not have buggy software. So we'll get this fixed. All right. So this is version 1 of how to port a phone number. So yes, we have numbers all over the world, not everywhere though. So when you're requesting, you need to select your country. The process is different for different countries. We don't have numbers in Germany. Apparently they're like insane with their regulations and restrictions on stuff. I will say this again. I said this last week. For like, you now have automation in here and there's texting that's automated. You guys are the ones that are responsible to make sure that you're in compliance with things like the TCPA and like whatever Europe's like crazy aggressive compliance phone automation stuff is. And we will be like, there will be like updated terms for you guys to agree to that. But I just want to make sure that that is clear. So don't go in here and like use this as a way to do cold text messaging to people you don't have approval for. I mentioned this before. I have a friend that got sued for $5 million. He was doing this in large amounts. He's doing big numbers, right? But he ended up settling for like 6 figures somewhere.
Yeah, it was like 6 figures, something like that.
Yeah. I don't think you guys want to deal with that. I would make sure that you're in compliance with like whatever the local rules are, right? Okay, so basically you're going to agree to these different terms here, and then you're going to put in a name. This is just like a name for you to identify it. Maybe I'm going to move over like Jeff's Sandwich Shop from a different phone system in here. So I'll put in that because I'm only moving over one company. Residential or business. This is going to be business. You guys are filling in your name. This is going to be the information that's associated with your current carrier. Okay. And then this is where your numbers will go right here, even though it says landline and toll free. Like I said, I've got plans to fix this as soon as possible. So these will be that type of number. This would be wireless phone numbers. And then unfortunately, you'll have to currently repeat the number that you put up here into here. You need to assign it to a company. We need to, one of the things within our system is phone numbers have the association with company. So that's what that's asking for. And this is the number where it will be forwarded to. You could add in a second one here or third one. Okay, so any questions about, well, actually, before I open it up for questions, there's a letter of authorization that you will download right here. I know earlier it wasn't working. You'll just fill this out. This is going to be a repeat on a lot of the same information that you entered, which I hate to say and have that be a part of my platform, but that is the fact of how it is right now. That will be changing. We're going to make this really easy and beautiful for you guys. And then this is a billing statement or an invoice from your current person. So we just need to like prove that, you know, you guys have authorization here. For those of you guys that aren't transferring your cell phone number to our system, you can ignore this, right? We don't need the like this is for, it's a possibility, but that's, I just want to make sure that's clear on what that is. Okay. Now I will ask, does anyone have any questions about this porting stuff?
I didn't see a question specifically about porting yet, but Eugene is asking, are the text messages live? Like, can you do it now?
Yeah. Yes. It looks like we had an error there when I tried to do it. Let me just see here. This might still work. Okay. I will just going to drag this over here. I'm going to send myself a text message here. It should be okay, so that failed, but I would say like it's live. There's currently an error that is
We'll be working it out.
That needs to be worked out. So I guess maybe it's not live, but I would bet that we'll have this fixed by tomorrow morning, like with this. So this isn't going to be, we've already solved all the problems to make this work, right? So we just need to, like I said, when we drop this stuff in here, it's a new environment and there's like bugs and stuff that we need to work out, and they're really hard to replicate until it's in here. So I've got my guys working overtime to fix all the issues. I would make sure that you guys, hey, continue to send us tickets on this. It really helps us stay organized and attack these things in a systematic order. One of the things that you guys may know is that previously we had this like getting started thing, and we've moved it into this video training. So we're redoing how we're doing things, and we're going to build out this. The videos are currently missing. I know that you guys are requesting how the phone system works, how the automations work, all the different pieces that we put in here. I am spending a lot of long hours right now building this stuff out for you guys. Just be patient with us. It's hard to, I didn't want to delay and give you the guys the possibility of using this stuff, because I'm going to spend like a few weeks building out the documentation when we have a working system and I can teach you on the calls, and like we're doing our best to make it as intuitive as possible. Maybe we'll just start off with some rough videos and then I'll make them more polished, but we're working on this. This is where it will be. Additionally, what we're going to do, the way we've constructed this system here is it's actually really cool. And what we're going to do is like, we can manage this all from our back end now. So I can add in videos and stuff from the back, which I was like thinking while we were doing this, like, yeah, that's really flexible for us. But wouldn't it be cool if we could add the users, have the users be able to like manage their own videos within here? So if you wanted to train your employees or like have some other like course in here that you could potentially sell, then this could be a platform in the future where you can do that. And you can like have this stuff built right in as a training system, as in your own course system here without having to like pay for some other course system. So we essentially have that functionality. This is not a good representation because there's no videos in here, but we have, if I had the ability to show you another system right now where this is all available, then you could kind of see what it looks like. It's pretty cool. So
speaking of videos, Patrick, there are a couple of questions. One of them is, can we get some kind of a training on how to switch over from Go High Level, number one, and then Neil's asking about training for the affiliate sales process.
Yeah.
Videos there posted there, right?
Yeah. So Spencer, were you the Go High Level question?
Yeah, no, Spencer.
Spencer, I'd love to you and I, let's jump on a Zoom this week. I know that we've got another Zoom scheduled, but maybe it's the same one, and let's look at that. And I just need to see what needs to be exported and then figure out how I can make it as easy as possible for people to make that move. So that is certainly a priority for me to make transitioning from these other platforms in ours as seamless as possible.
Yeah. And then one last question, the accountability groups, can they still get in? How do they do it?
Yeah, I believe you can still get in, but I'm gonna, hey, if you're interested in it, then Jeff, if you could grab that link, put it in there, send me a message. At this point, I think it is important to respect the group. So I will approach the different groups, or if somebody wants to, you guys need to agree within your group before we accept another person at this time. I just want to make sure I respect whatever you guys have built. And if not, if there's more than one person that is looking to get into the group, maybe we can build another group out, right? So
I think Dave and I would be.
I'm sorry?
I think Dave and I would be interested.
Dave, are you in?
He's downstairs. I'll go kick his ass.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, just so you guys know, this is just like the conversation with Laurent earlier on the call. You guys joining this, you're making a commitment to each other and to the group to be there and make time and have the tough conversations when someone in your group is falling behind, where you call them out on their bullshit and say, look, you need to move back in this direction if you want to reach this goal. Care about them enough to say that. You don't need to say it in a rude way, but you say it from a place from love, and it will be well received. And I've been through this with other people, and standing up for these people when they were falling behind wasn't easy at the time. It was uncomfortable for me, but they have rewarded me with years of respect for having the kind of courage and caring about them enough to say that. So that's part of the agreement that you guys make. The other people, they made that agreement when they joined. So just want to make sure that's clear when you guys get into this.
We want to mention that we were part of Mike Marin's training, and he set it up for me at the same time, same day a week as yours. And I even asked him on the first call, I'm like, Patrick Shannon's course is, is on the same day, same time. Is there any chance you might want to move it? And he didn't, but.
My name was probably mud at that point. So
maybe, I don't know, but it didn't happen. So, but we're back now. So
welcome back. Happy to have you guys.
Sweet. My form's already submitted.
Awesome.
Wait,
all right.
I didn't see the link.
Okay, Jeff, were there other questions? Or are we good?
We're good.
Hey, I'd like to second this traffic and funnels daily mind medicine. They're really, really good. There's one called Identity First.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's amazing. There are two about identity at least, but there's one called Identity First, and that in that it's your most powerful version of you won't care what other people think, and you'll just go right on ahead. But
I think that one was deep. That Identity First, and I probably listened to that. It's 5 minutes long. I probably listened to it 4 or 5 times now, where I'm just trying to process through what that means. The way that Taylor thinks is, I mean, that guy, it's clear that he has a high intellect, and he says things casually that are maybe casual to him because he's processed through it so much. But for me, when I listen to it, I'm like, whoa, I feel that sentence right there. I just I need to reevaluate that for a while. I need to think on that one sentence for an hour before it makes before it's clear. So yeah, Daily Mind Medicine, guys, check that out. It's awesome. It's free. It's 5 minutes a day from somebody who is doing massive numbers. I know that we came from a different group. This is a completely new ball game. I think he shared, I saw him, he spoke at the Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego, and I think he said he has $100 million in real estate, and that's part of his portfolio. And it's come from building this, and he's got 5 or 6 different companies. One is just about how to preserve wealth when you build wealth. How do you preserve it? So
I just heard that one. And you mentioned the productivity pack. That's really good. Another one is the morning formula about getting your mind right every morning before you start down with your day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, right on. So let's see, so we'll fix the phone system thing. We'll get that. I'm going to go back over here. The call flows, guys, you can build out some really complex phone system stuff here. I know that I've covered this on a couple, and different people are in different lives. So I'm just kind of skimming back through this, but you can build out your own custom logic on what happens when a call comes in. You can upload a recording or have it read a robot voice of whatever you type in there. And you can have it dial multiple phone numbers at the same time, right? All this stuff can be paired with automations as well. You can do a round robin. Round robin's pretty cool because this one, I changed this a lot from what I've seen with other phone systems like CallRail, for instance. They do not allow you to round robin to multiple numbers at the same time. We do. I hated that because I have towing and they have multiple drivers and they're paying us multiple amounts. So one of our guys had 4 drivers and the other one had 2. And this guy's like paying us twice as much. So let's say that, I can't do the math fast enough. Let's say that he gets like 66%. There we go. Okay. And this guy gets 33%, right? So that's how you could do it. Where 66% of the time, it's going to go to these numbers, and whoever answers this first, then it will stop. And then 33% of the time it will go here, right? So you can do a schedule where you can say, hey, during this time period, on like weekdays between here and here, then follow this little arrow down here and do whatever's down here. And then during this other branch, which is maybe, so this would be like weekdays between, just to give you guys an idea, between midnight and 8 a.m. essentially. And then I'll need like weekdays between 8 a.m. and midnight, right? So that way I've got the whole day covered of what's going to happen. Otherwise our phone system won't know what to do, right? So you could send them to a menu where it's like, this is a great step for you guys as you guys set up your phone numbers. We're going to make this easier, but currently we haven't made it easier yet. And we're going to make it easier to block spam. That's where I'm going with this. So you could have the robot, or you could upload your own recording that says, press 1 if you are a human, right? And then down here, I could say, press 1, human test, right? So that will get rid of all of our stuff. So maybe you put that in as the first step, and then they press 1, and then now we know that they're not some robot, and they can go on to the rest of the phone system and like whatever actions. So that's kind of like a challenge step. And we're gonna have this not be a part of the call flow. You can still use it as a part of the call flow, but we're gonna like put it on the list of numbers to just like as a switch to just like turn that on, because I think a lot of people are gonna want that on. Spencer, I know that you had a question about how the phone system works, right? What can I answer related to that? We were
He's
going
also asking about using a regular phone number. I don't know if you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so something I was thinking about with this gentleman that we landed yesterday that I already talked about for the wins at the beginning part of the call is running his, do we have to purchase a call tracking number in order for, because what I was hoping is we could just tie his regular landscaping number in to run it through there so that we could just monitor how long the calls were, so that then we could tie them in to do review requests. Is that something possible?
Yeah, so we can't track numbers that like we won't have any data on like a regular phone number if it's not a tracking phone number. The tracking phone number gives us the ability to track it. But what you could do, I don't know if he'd be up for this, is if you could talk him into putting a tracking number on the site and just let him know like, hey, I'll write it down. If we ever split, you can have this phone number, still have access to it. This would give us a lot of analytical data, and it'll give us a ton of like ability to manipulate things. But I can't like, currently, I can't put like my cell phone number into this and have like all this functionality. So like Verizon is my carrier and they're not going to let me like do that, right? There's no like avenue to control that number. I could port a wireless number as we saw earlier, but to be able to have the functionality and the tracking and everything, it's got to be on one of the numbers that is associated with our system. All right. Did you have other questions related to the phone system, Spencer, on, or?
Yeah, the only thing that I'm trying to set up now, and we can cover this tomorrow or this evening, is just that whole step-by-step. We're just the greeting, running them through, because what happened is I launched 2 new GMBs without my granite countertop guy knowing, because we're starting growth for him. And House, I think is what's called, house.com, was some citations that we got going on the GMB, and they started hammering my client. And then my client's like, hey, who is this that's calling? And then I guess they were asking, like saying, hey, we just started new stuff. And it just kind of caused some problems. And so they're getting hammered with solicitations.
Yep. Every time you run citations, you're going to run into this issue. And I've got some like long-term plans on how to deal with that. Like one of the things I want to do is set up like a shared spam pool, where like if you mark this as spam and Neil and Harry and Laurent mark it as spam, then like maybe Dave sets a confidence level of like 4, and then if it has 4 messages, then it's automatically marked as spam, right? So the challenge step will stop the robo people, but it's not going to stop Home Advisor, because those are humans and they're just going to press 1, right? And like what maybe what you could do is, I don't know what they would do with this, but you could say like press 1 if you are interested in our service, press 2 if you are Home Advisor, Angie's List, blah blah blah. And you could even make a part of the message like our operators cannot and will not be able to assist you if you're a Home Advisor, so please press 2. And then you press 2 and it reads a message that says like, hey, we appreciate you guys. Please send us an email at this email address and we'll follow back up with you with your service. Like, I don't know what effect that would have, but like, they would probably, they probably ignore it. I mean, they pretend to be like real customers. So
Yeah,
like, I don't think they'd be like, oh, I'm Home Advisor, I'll press 2 and like, I'll send this email. Like, that's probably not how they're going to work. Right. So, but you could put that challenge step in that we mentioned a minute ago to get rid of the robo stuff. It may be like the curve of how it happens with citations is after you order them, there's like a calm before the storm, and then it like spikes up and then it will slow down. You could maybe like handle the, like, depending on your relationship with the business owner, you may want to handle the calls for them or have someone on your team, like take those calls until you like get to that downswing, especially if you don't have leads coming in. Like, I think their tolerance of spam is a lot higher when it's like mixed in with real leads. But if it's just like only spam, then that's pretty annoying. I would also explain to them that, hey, this is short-lived and this is a part of getting yourselves out there. Right. So, yeah. Right. Trying to think of any other cool things to mention in here. I think we've gone through most of this stuff. I'll get you guys a lot of the training on this out here pretty soon. Do we have any other questions? What are we, an hour and 36 minutes? This is a long one. We got a lot to talk about. All right. All right, you guys, if there are no more questions, then I think we're ready to hop off here. Jeff, any final?
Eric is asking, could that company forward their main number to a tracking number so it's not seen but trackable?
They could do that, assuming that they're cool with it. Yeah, it would essentially show them how it works, and if they forward it and then they still receive it, they would have the ability on their end to shut that connection off anytime they want. And the only thing they might not be cool with is like I don't know, whoever's calling their main number may, like, they have other parts of their business. I don't know. It's certainly worth asking and see what they say. I would say. Cool. All right. Okay, guys. I think we're good. All right. So let me know if you guys see issues. We've added a lot of functionality in here. Those of you guys that are in the accountability group, I appreciate you guys joining that. I hope you guys get a lot of value from it. I've never kind of like remotely led this accountability group thing, but I think it's worked out really well for the ones I participated in the past. Any of you guys have questions or anything on the new functionality, don't be afraid to drop it into the group. That's like, I do my best to respond to your guys' Facebook messages and like the private messenger, but there's a lot of them. So dropping it in the group lets our whole team have access to be able to answer this stuff. I'll do my best to get the training out for this stuff, the new features, as quickly as I can. And we'll get these errors that we saw tonight patched up. You guys, I'm sorry. There is one more thing I wanted to cover. Just when you guys thought you were done with me. To share. For those of you guys that want to sign up for a plan, you can go up here to store and you will notice that there are, this looks a little different now. We have the all plans. This is the CRM plans and then the phone plans. The phone plans are different for different countries. That's why there's a country here. So the way we have it set up now is to auto detect your country. So this should be right, but I would encourage you to double check that this is your country before you go to try to purchase a plan. Okay. As I said, you get one free number and you can start taking advantage of that free number by going in to phone system and then click on text, and it should give you a menu when things are working properly for you to select that number based on maybe you want it in your local area code. You should be able to find it. Some area codes like Las Vegas, the 702s are almost eaten up. So you may have to choose a different one depending on the availability. If you check back a few hours later, the numbers are changing constantly for what's available. All right, so I'll leave you guys with that. You guys have 7 days to create some awesome wins in your business. Right now, 79 days left in the year. 7 days, we'll have 72 days left in the year. Do something that matters over these next 7 days and move your business forward, move your life forward. You guys are great. I appreciate this last year of being able to serve you guys, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed what we've done over the last 12 months. So, all right, onward and upward. We will see you guys next week. Have a great week. Take care, my friends.
Have a good one, everyone.